Well, hello and welcome to HCN Evening News Bulletin with me, Clinton D'Souza, and here are the top stories. This is a story about two sports personalities who have made Goa proud and won national and international level championships, medals without the support of any government official or the sports ministry or any sports authority. It was the effort and hard work put in by themselves, by their parents and supporters. This is a story of two sisters, Chanel Crizzle and Claudia Crizzle, hailing from Caranzalem, who have made Goa proud in the sport of rugby. Speaking to Herald and HCN, both the sisters spoke about their journey and how they made India proud without the support of any sports department. Watch this exclusive story here.
So she would come home from practice and we would pass the ball around. And when I went for my first session, I already knew what to do. So I fell in love with the sport there and I started playing, and I went for my first nationals in 2018 for touch. And from there, I think I just got to attach to the sport. Like if I missed rugby practice, I would be at home crying and begging mama to drop me for practice. And having Claudia playing before me, they started motivating me a lot more than what she got when she was started playing. My father has played contact before for CCFC, yeah. So he already knew about the sport, and then it's just they motivated me because they saw that I was good at it, and I went for athletics to improve my speed so that I could get selected for the Indian team, which is exactly what I did, and it's exactly what happened.
Okay, during this journey, what was the support that you have received? Because we know that when you went, you didn't have so much support. Even now, there's hardly much recognition given to you. So what do you have to say on that? Do you think that rugby is not given that much of support compared to the other sports in Goa?
Rugby is less recognized as compared to football, athletics and cricket in Goa, which is quite disappointing because we're going for nationals and we're ranking much higher than any other Goan team is ranking at nationals. And we've gone for an international and we've come back with a second, which it's a big deal because you've gone for an international tournament and you're playing a contact sport. So I think that we should be given a lot more recognition than we are, and a lot more support from the government, because right now we don't have anything. Money, like it was very hard for my family to pay for what I needed, like kit, which if the government noticed that a lot earlier and they started funding me, things would have been a little easier on my family personally.
So what do you have to say about women in sports? Do you think women are recognized compared to the men?
We are recognized, but the men are recognized on a larger scale. It's like I mentioned earlier, they think that men can do a lot better than the women, which is not true because we come and we rank better than they do.
Regarding this, I think it's something that a new sport, a growing sport would have to do, initially to get some kind of recognition, get our feet somewhere and, start somewhere. But I don't think it would continue these many years down the line. For a little while, we had a title sponsor, we were very comfortable, things were going great, and after the pandemic, the pandemic definitely hit rugby hard because it's so difficult to fund a ground for a simple practice training now. I think the last Sunday we had two of the senior men's team players book the ground for us so that we could practice. So those are very little things, but it matters a lot.
How did you go through this of not getting any kind of support from the government, where you had to struggle to make sure that even you get a sponsor for your kit? What will be your appeal also, and how did that create an impact?
So for starters, I did not have a sponsorship for my kit. I went for camp when we hadn't even completed a year of Rugby India. So I went very early in that period. But once I was there, we were well taken care of at camp. I think that's something that Rugby India has made sure of. But I've seen the improvement and change in the standard of our accommodation from that international camp to the next one. Because as soon as we performed at that camp, the Orissa government took such a huge initiative, and they sponsor us now. They sponsor Rugby India. Not just Orissa, they sponsor Rugby India. So the government of Orissa has done something really amazing, and I hope that sometime soon that the government of Goa will, take a similar kind of initiative. Now, I'm not saying sponsor Rugby India, but
At least
help
Rugby
us
Goa.
out a bit, because we are doing well.
Financially, there is no much support. The parents have to unite and support the players out there. What you have to say, being a part of the, as a coach, what are the difficulties that you faced or you think that should be changed?
See, first things, it's great to see the parents of the kids pitching in to grow the sport. But that's not enough. What we lack is a training ground. A training ground costs money. What we lack is equipment, whether it's self or whether it's for the team. We need money for that. We sometimes live on donations. That's not good enough, because anytime a team that goes out of Goa, a minimum of at least 1 lakh is what we need. Even in terms of I would say players insurance, welfare, we all need money, because there's injuries that happen. We need to take care of the kids. Even for the rehab also we need that. Nutritional supplements, we require money for that. So it's all about funds. It's all about sponsorship that we require.
So have you met or demanded or requested the authorities or the government in the past to give us a ground or give us some financial assistance? What was the reply that you have received?
We did ask for a ground a year back or 2 years back, before the COVID hit us. Caranzalem football ground was told that we would give it to us, but it didn't happen. But still, for any SHG ground, we have to pay for it. A nominal fee is always charged. But even to host a tournament, for kids, it costs us money. And so we need at least an initial donation to boost our training and development.
What will be your, the last question, what will be your demand or request to the government or the sports authority now?
I would say number one, give us a ground. That's one. Two, give us the equipment and infrastructure we require, which doesn't cost too much. And second, give us a grant where we could at least some kind of monetary grant where we could at least take our kids out to play against other states.